Happy Market Monday, Chris from Fluent Mortgage, market fluently. All right, so in light of what happened last week, I know most people are trying to move around their portfolios, figuring out what's the safest place to invest to maximize your return, right? Remember, every week I challenge you on something. So today, I challenge you to invest in generosity. So first the quote, be generous, invest in acts of charity. Charity yields a high return. I'm not talking to those in need, right? It's those people, those of us who have a little extra. We're literally, and I'm hearing these conversations, how do I get a few more dollars? How do I get a few more shekels? How to become more wealthy? You know, there's a lot of pain and hurt in the world, right? And for those of us who have a little extra, I challenge you to be generous. Just maybe bless someone else today in need. All right, so what happened last week? Oh my gosh. Two humongous things. And I know everybody wants to hear about the Federal Reserve, which we'll talk about, but really there was no new news. We've been talking about this for a year and everything we've said for the last 6 months to the T. So no surprises there, you've been following it. Shocking. And no one's talking about this, right? And it makes sense. Behind Ukraine, behind the Fed, the day before the Fed spoke, we just agreed and passed another 1.5 trillion with the T in spending. So what that does is cause hyperinflation. And I want to give you an analogy really quick to challenge people who literally are saying printing money doesn't cause inflation. It literally does. 1 + 1 always equals 2. I don't care what you say, 1 + 1 is never 0. Cannot lie to us or me, right? So here's a little analogy in real estate. Let's make it easy. And this is what I've used with people because they get this concept. Right now, we know there's very few homes. It's a seller's market. And because there's so little supply, the value is really high, the cost. Business 101, supply and demand, right? And we know this. Overnight, kind of like in 2008, if double, triple the amount of homes come on the market, well, obviously your values go down, right? Way more inventory devalues those that are currently in market. Common sense. Why do we lose our minds when all of a sudden we switch from houses to money? Same thing. If you print double the amount of money, all the money in market already is worth half the amount. So print a bunch of money, you're going to cause inflation, right? All right. So literally 0 surprises with the Federal Reserve. They raised rate by 0.25% for the first time in years. And they've said, we're going to raise rate another 0.25% minimum at least 7 more times. Now, the only part that's disappointing when they spoke is they tried to manipulate and mislead us. They claim they're going to raise rates minimum of 1.9% this year. Please just tell us 2. It's impossible. When you raise rates by 0.25%, you can't hit 1.9. So you're being manipulative, but whatever. We've been saying 2% jump. Now remember, they also cautioned us. That's if inflation gets in check. That's if we stop printing money. That just is dependent upon oil and war, right? So in light of what we just did, we may see a much higher increase in rates to combat inflation by the Fed. Now this week and the week to come, very, very, very light report week. Really what you're going to want to watch to see if we can recapture, gain a little bit. I think we might. We're going to at some point get a little bit better, but for the most part, trends higher, right? Oil and inflation. That's what we're going to watch this week. All right, last thing. We don't just give you information, right? We give you tools to succeed. So what we've given again is we've given an updated flyer showing that where rates were originally, where they're at today, and then a 1% and a 2% jump, and how much less house you get for higher rates. So that's tools there. The entire 1-hour press conference for the Federal Reserve if you want to inform yourself. And then lastly, if you want to leverage it, that little implementation note in terms of raising rates by 1/4. Come back this next week because of course we're giving the flyer today. Next week, we're going to talk about how the best producers, how people have been using this flyer for the last year already, have been getting listings, have been educating their buyers to do the right thing. So how do you leverage this news to win in 2022? All right, guys. Hope you have a great week and a great day. Don't forget to be generous, but also like, subscribe, share. We'll see you next week.